Yes.
So once we understand why we must win, we need to get clear on where we can win. Then we come down to the strategy question, which is, what is it going to take to win? What is it going to take to win? Now listen, we understand why we must win, so we're all geared up, we're juiced to the gills, ready to make this thing happen, right? Operationally, we know clearly where we can win. Now we're looking specifically at where we can win, and we're asking the question, what is it going to take to win now? For us, what specifically is it going to take to win where we identify we can win? Everybody clear on that? Yeah. And is everybody clear?
Yes.
Now, once we get the strategy question asked and answered, we can ask the tactical question, which is, how will we win? Right? Now that we know what it's going to take to win, where we identified we can win, with the understanding of why we must win, we can go to the tactical question to ask and answer the question, how will we win? Now we're getting more into the specifics for us so that we can move forward. Once we know how we will win, we now can start selecting tools, which is answering and asking and answering the question, what will we use to win? Is this making sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
And then once we have the tools, we can get caught up into the day-to-day type of stuff, which are the techniques, right? Of asking and answering the question, what will we do to win? Is this making sense?
Yes.
Now here's the reason why most people fail, because this is where they live. Tools and techniques. Buying the newest shiny objects that never get used. This new thing, that new thing, this new thing. How many know what I'm talking about? No condemnation, but how many know?
Exactly.
Right. Because it's exciting to get, but because it has no place, it goes unused. And we get caught up in the day-to-day, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do, only coming to realize there's so much you can do, you end up doing nothing at all. Right? Because here's the thing, if something specific isn't important, you think everything is important, and because of the overwhelming list of everything to do, you become completely immobilized by the overwhelming list. Does that make sense? And see, here's the thing, it's all not important. How do you know what's important down here if you're not even clear on what's important up here? Here's how it works. Influence is from top down. Everything from the top influences down, right? Where we can mission, first of all, influences everything. Because if you're not motivated to do something, by the way, motivation, and I love getting motivated seminars, I think it has a very, very important part in all of our lives. You know, just being motivated, period. But understand that motivation is for the moment. It's for these things right here, the techniques, the to-dos, the checklists, the steps, and all that is what we need right now, the fuel for this particular moment. But motivation is a child of inspiration. We have to be inspired. We have to have this. The mission, the reason why. That right there gives birth to all the motivation we would need. Anybody you find that's not motivated is a person that lacks inspiration. They lack that bigger picture. And that motivation has nothing to link up to, so where's he going to get his fuel from? Are you following me? So it's like, what's the use? Why should I do this? You ever heard that before? Why should I do this? The person is seeking that vision, that mission, that reason why. That the motivation needs to link up to be meaningful in the moment. Is this making sense, yes or no?
Yes.
So a person that's lacking motivation is not a person that has an issue, it's a person that doesn't have a vision. The moment you give a child, a person, a business, a family, or anybody a vision, it will, one, unite them, and two, it will ignite them. And all of a sudden they have all the motivation they need. And they will endure anything. Because they're ultimately inspired. And that motivation is going to always have something to link up to. So it's all the influences from top down. Our mission, which is the overall reason why we're doing what we're doing, operationally, strategically, tactically, and tool-wise, this is the influence. And here's the thing, impact. Right? When we think about impact, it's from the bottom up. Every single thing we do down here impacts the thing above it. So think about this. If the tools that you're using, the techniques that you're doing on a day-to-day basis are supposed to be impacting something above it, and yet its selection is supposed to be influenced by what's above it, but what's above it is non-existent, what happens to you down here? You become completely and totally lost. Completely and totally lost. And you become trapped. And your rotation is down here, and this becomes a path to rapid failure because you become totally despondent and disoriented. And what happens is you spend more and more on all these different tools, but the tools are constantly unused. Uninstalled software, unopened packages, halfway listened to audios, you know the problem. Right? Some of you are laughing because you're like, oh, he's talking about me. I'm talking about all of us, because that's what happens when we kind of get off track and we kind of lose, we lose ourselves, right? Now, let's talk real quickly about one more thing, what I call rate of change. Rate of change is slow at the top and fast at the bottom. Meaning this stuff right here at the top changes the slowest. What changes the fastest is down here at the bottom. Now that poses the other dilemma. For the person who does not have the higher tiers influencing what tools and techniques to use, and this is changing rapidly, they're buying the newest thing and never using it. And they're trying to play catch up. Now they're buying everything that looks good and sounds good because they think they're going to be missing out on something, or this is supposed to be relevant. But let me ask you something. How do you know if it's relevant when you don't know what it's supposed to be connected to? Does everybody understand what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
How can we know what's relevant down here? It's like a person trying to build something. Do they need tools, yes or no?
Yes.
Of course, but how do they know what tools to use if they don't know what the heck they're about to build? I need some tools. Okay, that's good to know. What kind of tools? Just give me some stuff. Right? Does that even make any sense? There's no carpenter worth his or her weight in gold that's going to be asking for just give me tools. They know exactly what they need to get done. They know exactly what tools to use. Right? Right? I mean, if you go to get your teeth pulled, you hope the dentist has the right tools. He knows what he or she is doing. There's tools for every trade, but those tools are specific to the what? To the trade. In your trade, in this business, there's specific tools that you will be using. But you will never know what tools are the relevant ones for you to use unless we understand this stuff up here at the top. I know this is heady stuff, but it's the required stuff. It's the stuff that will really make the difference for every single one of us when we succeed, or to succeed.